Have you ever been in a conversation where you felt like you were speaking into a void? Perhaps it occurs at a family dinner where your opinion is consistently skipped over, or in a group of friends where someone constantly cuts you off mid-sentence to pivot the topic back to themselves. You have likely gone home and replayed the conversation in your mind, thinking of the perfect thing you should have said to command respect and stop the interruption. You have been told by every self-help guru and communication expert on this platform to just speak up, be more confident, or just be yourself. This advice is not only useless, it is fundamentally incomplete. Being yourself does not work if your self has been conditioned to be a passenger in your own life. You are not being ignored because you are quiet. You are being ignored because your speech lacks structural authority. You are speaking to be liked, and in the cold hierarchy of human psychology, people do not respect those they merely like. They respect those who govern the air. Currently, you are viewed by your peers and colleagues as a variable to be managed, rather than the axis around which the environment turns. I am Grace, and this is Trinity English Scholar. We are here to dismantle the amateur mechanics of your speech that keep you in the background and replace them with a high-fidelity governance system. This is the 6th session of our masterclass in linguistic sovereignty. Before we move into today's strategy, ensure you have subscribed to this channel and liked this session. By doing so, you are signaling your transition from a passive consumer of content to a sovereign communicator who intends to lead. For those who are serious about this evolution, I have provided a comprehensive forensic PDF in the description below. Download it now to follow this 10,000-word manuscript and see the logic behind the words as we speak them. There is a question we will leave suspended until the final transition of this hour. If silence is a vacuum, who owns the air when the vacuum is broken? The answer defines the difference between the person who follows the conversation and the person who dictates its outcome. Before we introduce the new weapons of the day, we must perform a clinical audit of the factual progress we have made in this series. We began by establishing the hard floor. This was the physical and acoustic requirement of downward inflection. This single move stopped you from seeking approval at the end of your sentences and forced the listener to accept your statements as finished products. We then moved through the phonetic anchor. We identified that high-frequency sounds, specifically the sibilant s and the interdental th, act as status leaks. We stabilized those sounds to give your voice the weight of an executive. Most recently, we executed the lexical purge. We identified that weak, low-resolution adjectives like good, bad, big, or happy were anchoring you in the class of the managed. We replaced them with categorical vocabulary, the technical language of the Sloan ecosystem. These were the layers of your delivery. You now have the sound of authority. But sound without structure is merely noise. Today, we move from how you sound to the very structure of reality. We are moving into the realm of the axiomatic anchor. The axiomatic anchor is a psychological mechanism used to state a personal preference, a strategic goal, or a social boundary as if it were an immutable physical law of the universe, like gravity or thermodynamics. When you speak an axiom, you are not offering an opinion for debate, you are defining the environment. To achieve this level of dominance, we must utilize the mechanism of syntactic compression. In everyday life, the common person uses what we call additive syntax. They build their sentences using logical bridges. These bridges are words like because, since, so, or given that. These words are status leaks. Every time you use the word because, you are subconsciously telling the listener that your statement is not strong enough to stand on its own. You are providing them with a handle to grab onto and pull your argument apart. If you say, I think we should move the deadline because the team is tired, you have invited the listener to argue about whether the team is actually tired. You have handed over your power. Syntactic compression removes the why entirely. By stripping away the connectors, you create a logical vacuum. You force the listener's brain to do the cognitive work of bridging your statements for you. You are no longer arguing, you are stating. If you say, the deadline is moved to Friday, The current output requires further calibration. You have anchored the decision in reality. The listener's brain does not look for an argument. It instinctively accepts the new reality. This is inference preemption. You are making it impossible for someone to talk over you because you aren't offering them a hook to hang their disagreement on. You are speaking in the language of the sovereign. Walkthrough 1. Professional sovereignty, the venture capital defense. Imagine you are a founder in a high-stakes boardroom. You are negotiating with an investor who is attempting to down-round your valuation. They are trying to tell you that because of a minor market dip, your company is worth 30% less than it was last month. The non-Trinity scholar: I really think our valuation should stay at 100 million because our user growth is still very strong and we have a lot of potential in the next quarter, so lowering it doesn't seem fair to the founders who have worked so hard. The forensic audit: observe the structural collapse. He uses I think, which signals internal doubt. He uses fair, a moral variable with zero market utility. But most fatally, he uses because and so. He is begging for the investor to agree with him. He is a laborer asking for a favor. The Trinity scholar: current market volatility is a temporary external variable. Our user acquisition metrics have achieved autonomous scaling. We are maintaining the valuation at 100 million. Dilution at this stage would destabilize the cap table and compromise exit velocity. The forensic analysis: note the precision. She does not use the word because. She uses syntactic compression to deliver 4 independent, axiomatic anchors. She does not ask for the valuation to stay, she states that it is staying. She replaces hard work with exit velocity. She is not a person making an argument, she is a governor reporting a state of affairs. The investor cannot argue with her growth metrics because she has framed them as autonomous. She has preempted their inference of weakness. Walkthrough 2. Crisis governance. The global logistics rupture. Imagine you are an executive in charge of a global supply chain. A major port closure has delayed a critical shipment. Your most important client is on the phone, and they are ready to cancel their contract and sue for damages. The non-Trinity scholar: I am so sorry for the delay. We had a huge problem at the port in Shanghai and we are doing our best to fix it as fast as possible for you. We really hope you can wait until Friday for the delivery. The forensic audit: this is a total transfer of status. By apologizing, he has confessed liability. By saying doing our best and hope, he has admitted that he is not in control of the physical world. He has invited the client to berate him and demand compensation. The Trinity scholar: logistical constraints at the Shanghai port have necessitated a strategic recalibration of the delivery timeline. We have reallocated resources to the Singapore hub to mitigate further latency. The new delivery window is fixed for Friday. This adjustment ensures the integrity of the final assembly and protects the launch window. The forensic analysis: she never says sorry. She never says problem. She replaces those low-status markers with recalibration and latency. She uses syntactic compression to state the new date as a fixed point in time. She does not ask the client to wait. She informs them that the integrity of the assembly is being protected. She has shifted the narrative from a human mistake to a managed systemic adjustment. The client does not hear an excuse. They hear a solution that has already been executed. Walkthrough 3. Everyday negotiation, the structural ceiling. Now, let's bring this to the common person's world. Imagine you are negotiating a contract for a home renovation or a high-ticket service. The provider is pushing you for a price that exceeds your budget. The non-Trinity scholar: I want to work with you, but I really need a better price because I've seen other offers that are much cheaper than yours and I don't think I can afford this right now. The forensic audit: by mentioning other offers and what he can afford, he sounds desperate and reactive. He is giving the provider a reason to try and sell him harder. He is behaving like a consumer, not a decision maker. The Trinity scholar: The current proposal exceeds the projected budget ceiling. Our requirements are predicated on a fixed cost of service. We are moving forward at the previous rate. This ensures a sustainable partnership and long-term operational alignment. The forensic analysis. She does not mention other companies. She defines her budget as a ceiling, a structural limit that cannot be moved. She uses syntactic compression to state her price as the only path forward. She doesn't say, "I want a better price." She says, "We are moving forward at the previous rate." It sounds like a decree. The provider is no longer negotiating with a person's feelings. They are negotiating with a budget ceiling. The resolution to our opening question, who owns the air when the vacuum is broken, is now clear. Pause 2 seconds. The person who defines the first axiom owns the air. If you wait for the other person to speak so you can reply or explain, you are breathing their exhaust. You are a passenger in their reality. To be a Trinity scholar is to be the one who sets the air. 1. Eliminate the because. Your statements are stronger when they stand alone. 2. State, do not ask. Decisions are not requests, they are declarations. And 3. The axiomatic anchor. Use technical, categorical nouns to frame your needs as physical laws. Your homework. For the next 24 hours, you are prohibited from using the words because, so, or since in any professional or social email. You will perform a connective audit. Take your draft, identify the why, delete the connector, and restate the what as a standalone sentence. Example, instead of "I can't make the meeting because I have a conflict," you will write, "The meeting is rescheduled for 4 p.m. This time ensures full attendance." I am Grace. We do not speak to be understood. We speak to be obeyed. See you in the next frame.